Another first on the channel today. It is our first unboxing and review of the Swiss watch brand Tag Heuer. And let me just say, this is also one of my, what I'm calling the classics series. So these are watches that I've had for a very long time and enjoy, love, etc. have worn for many years. And this is one of the first, actually this is the first Swiss watch I ever owned, so I figured I'd share it with you. Tag, of course, the brand's been around for a very long time. Started originally way back in 1860. Started by Mr. Heuer, as a matter of fact. Later added that tag to it when they sold a large portion of the company to a tech company, actually, as a matter of fact, is where that three letters comes from, Tag. And I forget the technical name of the TAG, but ever since, I think that was in the 1980s that came up and came about. Let me see. Until the 1980s, of course, it was just known as Heuer, and the Tag Group Holdings company was created after they had sold off a large chunk of the company to this TAG group. And next thing you know, they, of course, tried to bring the company into the current century at the time. And Tag was very popular, of course, in the 90s. It was in all the movies. Everybody had one. Well known for, here we go, we got the booklet, instruction manual that came with it originally, and I'll open that and share with you guys. There you go, there's the international warranty. These came with a 2-year guarantee, and this one is from, what do you know, that one is from May 3rd of 2004, and that is an important time because that is not long before I actually graduated from law school. And that's what this was. This was a gift from my beautiful wife for graduating from law school. And she knew I loved watches. I always had, but we never could afford anything nice. And I really liked the brand Tag. And I had looked at Aquaracers before. Of course, I loved Omega at the time as well. But this was, at the time, entry-level Swiss luxury watch. There was also a sports watch that would do everything that I needed it to do. And before this, of course, I had worn other watches, nothing expensive, nothing Swiss. So this was the very first Swiss timepiece that I got. And there it is, all the way from back in 2004. And here we are in the year 2025. And that bad boy is still running just fine, keeps excellent time. Got all the links and everything in there. Open that up for you and show you everything. Of course, I wore this watch doing everything. After I graduated law school, this was my dress watch. I wore it to work every day, no matter what job I had, no matter what I was doing. This was my fancy watch until this one was superseded a few years later by an Omega, which I still loved this watch because it had a different dial. This is in the Aquaracer series. So this was the time frame when they were switching over from what they called the 2000 series, which was in the from the 1990s all the way into the early 2000s, and then they came out with the Aquaracer line around that time frame. Of course, it is digital. It's quartz, not digital, but quartz. But you can see that classic Tag Aquaracer bezel still has great clicks on it. See if you can hear that. Very solid. I have never had it serviced. I've never had anything but batteries changed out in it. And the batteries in this last for a very long time. It does have the little low battery indicator. It starts slipping by at about 5 seconds, I think, maybe 2 or 5 seconds. It's a little smaller watch for my wearing these days, but you can see, got a little micro adjust to it. That very nice clasp, well done. Kind of a very go anywhere, do anything style watch. And these days, as watches are getting smaller and smaller, again, it seems like, and there's a reference number, WN1111, and you can see the Tag brand, Swiss since 1860. Very slim, very well done. And I'll show you the dimensions on this, and then I'll try it on. So this one is billed at a 39 millimeter. Let's see what that actually measures out at. It's a little under 38 if you measure it that way, but because of the shape of the watch, I don't know, it's a little bit different. So it is essentially a 38.5, 39-ish because of the shape of it. But if you measure it right on that very most narrow point, it's a little bit less. And this was right before Tag had, or maybe even at the same time that Tag came out with that S-Link bracelet just after this, and that was very popular at the time. And I remember wanting those, but again, we didn't have money for extraneous things like that. Wearing today, I just got this. This is my first mini Samurai in the smaller version. It's kind of interesting watch. Wears very well, I must say, on, of course, this very comfortable strap from Barton. They just do such a nice rubber strap. It might even be the best around for those. So I'll do a review on those later. This bad boy though, I still think that's a beautiful watch. I do like to wear it every now and then on a deployant sailcloth style with little white stitches. I just think it looks really sharp. I've got a 7¼ inch wrist. I'll let you see it there. Still a great looking watch, and you can still buy these in pretty good shape. You can order them on eBay. I don't know that you would ever find one that's new. This has never been polished. I'm sure it could be polished and made to look a little bit more current, but still takes me back because when I look at the dial and wear the watch, I remember all the times that I wore it for and memories, etc. Which is why I wanted to share with everybody these, what I call the classics, which are some of the watches that I've had around for a very long time. And this one, that's more than 20 years at this point. And here we are, still running great, still has value. Of course, the sentimental value is vastly superior to the financial value, but I just thought I'd share that with everybody. Makes a really nice watch there. Tag, I still like Tag, and Tag took a bit of a hit in popularity, and I guess I would say their serious watch aficionado kind of chops after putting out a few, I guess I would say, less than desirable models, etc. But I think watch collecting is so subjective. And here we have a really nice Tag, still running strong. Never did a thing to it 20 years later. Clearly, they make an excellent product, and their newer models especially, their racing line, and Tag was very famous in the 1960s as they were known as, you know, racing watches, and of course they sponsor all of the races, etc. And I really like their new chronograph that they've got out. Oh, it's just a beautiful dial, and it's got a certain type of crystal that just looks so sharp. And if I ever get a hold of one of those, I will do a review on that. But thanks for watching. Thought I'd take a little trip down memory lane and share my very first Swiss watch. Thanks again.